if you're listening, chances are you know that feeling. That constant nagging knee pain. Maybe it's just climbing stairs, maybe it's walking, but it limits you, right?
It really does. And often it boils down to inflammation, maybe an old injury, or just that wear and tear over time degrading the joint.
Yeah, exactly. And that feeling of limitation, that's what we're tackling head on in this deep dive. You're here for real, actionable solutions. And today, our focus is sharp. Using nutrition to optimize your joint health.
Right. We're not just listing foods. Our mission, based on the research you've gathered, is to pinpoint the most effective nutritional strategies.
That's it. We've distilled it down to the top 9 nutrients identified in the sources. These are the ones shown to really help reduce that knee pain and, boost overall joint health significantly.
And crucially, we need to get into the how. How do these nutrients actually work? We'll break down their roles fighting inflammation, helping repair cartilage, strengthening the bones underneath. Understanding the mechanism is key.
Okay, let's unpack this. First things first, we need to deal with the immediate problem, the inflammation, the pain. Let's talk about those powerful anti-inflammatory agents.
Absolutely. We have to start with the essentials. Literally, number 1, omega-3 fatty acids. They're called essential because your body can't make them. And the research, it consistently points to their, pretty remarkable anti-inflammatory power.
And the way they work is fascinating. It's not just masking pain, right? The analysis shows they act like regulators.
Yeah.
They actually dial down the body's production of those inflammatory molecules and enzymes that directly cause joint pain, especially in things like osteoarthritis.
Exactly. It's a chemical damage control at the source. They interrupt the signals before the inflammation really ramps up.
And the best sources are the fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines. We hear that a lot.
That's the primary dietary source, yes.
But here's a practical thought for you listening. If you're dealing with chronic pain, is just eating fish a couple of times a week usually enough to get these strong anti-inflammatory effects? Or, realistically, do you often need supplements to reach that therapeutic dose the research talks about?
That's a really important point. Look, diet is always the foundation. Always. But the doses used in studies showing significant anti-inflammatory effects, they often involve amounts of EPA and DHA that are frankly hard to get just from food every single day.
Right.
So the research suggests that for that active dial-down effect on chronic inflammation, targeted supplementation is often necessary. It's about hitting a certain threshold to see those benefits.
That makes total sense. Okay, so if omega-3s are like the firefighters reducing the flames,
Yeah.
the next category feels like the cleanup crew.
Yeah.
Let's talk antioxidants, specifically that big family of polyphenols.
Exactly right. When a joint's inflamed, it's also under oxidative stress. You've got these unstable molecules, free radicals, causing damage at a cellular level, accelerating that joint degeneration.
And polyphenols are the neutralizers. They soak up those free radicals, reducing the stress that fuels long-term damage and pain. And the great thing here is the sources are actually enjoyable.
They really are very accessible. We're talking green tea, berries, pretty much all of them, good dark chocolate, the high cacao kind, and lots of nuts. Easy to work into your diet.
So it's interesting. We already have a two-pronged attack here. Omega-3s cutting down the inflammatory signals and polyphenols cleaning up the cellular mess. That feels pretty comprehensive for managing the immediate pain.
It is. It tackles that immediate discomfort. But, putting out the fire isn't enough. You also need to make sure the building itself is sound. We need to shift focus now to strengthening the actual structure.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for long-term health, focusing on the bone support team. Because if the foundation is weak, everything built on top is compromised. Let's start with the catalyst, vitamin D.
Vitamin D is absolutely fundamental. It basically dictates how well your body can even use other structural minerals. It's the key that unlocks calcium absorption.
Right. So you could be taking in plenty of calcium, but if you're low on vitamin D, which, let's face it, a lot of people are, your body just isn't grabbing onto that calcium effectively to build strong bones.
And that weak foundation directly increases the risk for problems like osteoarthritis down the line.
And it does more than just bone, right? The research mentions anti-inflammatory effects, too.
Yes, that's a significant bonus. It also helps regulate the immune system. So having enough vitamin D isn't just about bone density. It seems to help calm down some of those chronic, low-grade inflammatory responses in the joint itself.
Sources are sun exposure, obviously, but also things like fatty fish again and fortified dairy.
Which leads us straight into calcium. The main building block itself, it's the most abundant mineral in the body for a reason.
It's the bricks and mortar. You need enough calcium to maintain bone density, prevent bone loss, reduce that osteoporosis risk, which just makes knee problems so much worse if the support structure crumbles.
And people forget it's also vital for muscle function, nerve signals, basic operations.
Sources are pretty well known: dairy, leafy greens, fortified alternatives like plant milks. But, as you said, absorption is the tricky part, which brings us to number 3 in this bone crew: vitamin K.
Vitamin K, often overlooked but essential. Think of it as the cement mixer or maybe the foreman directing the calcium. It's a fat-soluble vitamin, and its job is to activate the proteins that actually bind the calcium into your bone matrix.
So without enough K, the calcium might be floating around, but it doesn't properly integrate into the bone structure.
Exactly. Vitamin K helps anchor it, enhancing bone density and cutting down fracture risk. But what I found really interesting in the research was its dual role.
Beyond just bone.
Yes. It also plays a part in synthesizing proteins needed for the cartilage matrix. So vitamin K isn't just helping the bone under the joint, it's contributing to the health of the cartilage on top of the bone too.
That's fantastic. And where do we find it?
Primarily those leafy greens: spinach, kale, broccoli. So getting your greens is just as vital as getting your calcium, because K helps D, which helps calcium. It's a real team effort.
Okay, so we've addressed inflammation, and we've talked about strengthening the bone foundation. Now let's focus on the bit we actually feel grinding when things go wrong: the cushion, the cartilage.
Right. Cartilage breakdown means friction, pain, stiffness. This next group of nutrients zeroes in on supporting cartilage health. Its repair, its cushioning, its elasticity.
Let's start with a familiar one: vitamin C. We know it's an antioxidant, but its main job in joint health.
It's the collagen promoter. Collagen is the main structural protein in cartilage. It provides the strength, the framework, the elasticity. Vitamin C is absolutely essential for your body to actually make new collagen.
So if you're trying to repair damaged cartilage or even just slow down its breakdown, you need adequate vitamin C. Without it, the repair shop just doesn't have the tools it needs.
Precisely. Your body can't effectively build or maintain that crucial tissue structure without it.
And luckily, getting enough vitamin C is usually pretty straightforward diet-wise.
Generally, yes. Citrus fruits, berries, kiwi, bell peppers, lots of common and colorful foods are packed with it.
Okay. Now for 2 nutrients often found together in supplements: glucosamine and chondroitin sulfate.
Yes, the cartilage specialists. These are compounds that are naturally part of your cartilage structure already.
And the idea with glucosamine is that our natural production drops as we age, which contributes to cartilage breakdown. So supplementation, often from shellfish sources, provides the raw building blocks to help the body potentially rebuild cartilage and improve function.
That's the theory and the focus of much research, yes. It aims to replenish those building blocks. Chondroitin sulfate often works alongside it, but it has a slightly different protective role.
Also,
It seems to inhibit some of the enzymes that actively break down cartilage tissue. So while glucosamine might be providing materials to build, chondroitin is trying to stop the demolition crew.
defense as well as offense.
And it does something else vital. It attracts water. Chondroitin is highly hydrophilic, meaning it pulls water into the cartilage matrix.
Which makes it more cushiony, like hydrating a sponge.
Exactly. Better hydration means better shock absorption, less friction. Both are critical roles. These are typically sourced from animal cartilage for supplements.
Right. Which logically brings us to our final nutrient, one that's really gained popularity lately:
Yeah.
taking collagen directly.
Yeah, if vitamin C is the factory manager overseeing collagen production, then taking collagen supplements is like delivering truckloads of the raw materials directly to the site.
It's the main structural protein itself,
Yeah.
providing that strength and elasticity. So while our body can make it with enough vitamin C, the sources suggest that supplementing directly, maybe through bone broth, gelatin, or specific collagen powders, gives your body readily available collagen peptides.
Potentially promoting faster repair, reducing stiffness and friction. It's like covering all angles. Ensure the factory is running with vitamin C and make sure the supply chain is full with collagen.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, so let's recap the strategy we've built based on the research. It's really comprehensive. You start by managing the inflammation and oxidative stress with omega-3s and polyphenols. Then you solidify the foundation, the bone structure, using that synergistic team of vitamin D, calcium, and vitamin K.
Right. The structural support.
And finally, you focus on the cushion itself, rebuilding, protecting, and hydrating the cartilage with vitamin C, glucosamine, chondroitin, and collagen.
And if you connect this all together, stepping back to see the bigger picture, Understanding these specific roles moves you from just general eat healthy advice to, well, targeted nutritional intervention for your joints.
Yeah,
Knowing, for instance, that vitamin K activates the calcium binding, or that vitamin C is crucial for collagen synthesis, that detailed understanding lets you address potential weak spots in your diet much more precisely. It gives you more control.
absolutely. And the goal here is simple, really. It's about helping you reduce pain, improve your mobility, and just get back to doing the things you enjoy without that knee pain holding you back constantly.
Hmm.
So remember those 9 key categories we dove into: omega-3s, polyphenols, vitamin D, calcium, vitamin K, vitamin C, glucosamine, chondroitin sulfate, and collagen. That's your nutritional toolkit.
And maybe here's a final thought for you to consider as you process all this. Given the distinct but complementary roles of glucosamine and chondroitin, one more of a builder, the other a protector and hydrator, think about that potential synergy.
The combination effect.
Right. The source material often suggests taking them together is better than either one alone. Is that combination unlocking a genuinely greater benefit for cartilage maintenance? Mulling over that synergy might be your next step in really optimizing your joint health strategy.